The Highland Hills tower the skies, but the shadows they cast draw the spirits near. After all, tomorrow
Oh, I heard another echo there, an echo of the evil laugh. I couldn't help myself. I added Sherry. I think she's in. The evil laugh. I couldn't help myself. Somebody got the laptop thing on. Nope, that's that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be. I hope you're all well tonight. As you ones can see, I'm wearing gloves. I've got arthritis in my hands and it hurts really bad. Plus, I've got a sore head. So the show will be about an hour long tonight. So tonight, guys, we're going to be talking about the afterlife, what happens when you die. We're joined tonight by some amazing people. We're joined with Drew's Abandoned Paranormal. Let's see if I can remember everybody's channels. My Mystical. We're joined by Danny, and we're joined by Sherry. Sherry, I've not seen you in ages. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you as well.
Welcome, everybody.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Perfect.
So we'll let it fill up for a minute or two. Now, Drew was eating a pot noodle there. What kind of flavoured pot noodle was that again?
It was the curry, the mild curry. Look this way. The mild curry one is the one I like. It was a king pot noodle.
Well, actually, I'm going to shock you here, but do you know there's the exact same amount in a king pot noodle if it's in a normal pot noodle? Probably. See, I've just ruined the industry. The pot noodles got to sue me now for saying that. And Danny's just like froze there. He's just had 2 Scotch eggs. The man of the hills, you know.
That's it. I made myself some Scotch eggs. That's what I had. You know,
Scotch eggs are brilliant.
Put some hair on your.
They are. I thought you'd like a look-see at it, so that's why I showed it to you. You know,
Welcome in, Scottish.
Do you deep fry them? Do you deep fry them?
Oh well, first of course you got to boil the egg, and then you put your. What I like to do is I take my egg, then it's soft boiled, right? And then you put 1 strip of bacon around it like that. Right?
You put bacon in yours?
Oh yeah, right around the one time. You know, one strip.
I know people do it that way.
Then I roll it in oatmeal, right? Roll it up in oatmeal, and then I deep fry it. Oatmeal
that sounds really tasty.
Oh, it's so good. I'll tell you what, when I get, I'll make you some one of these days, you know.
Oh no, Christina, can I get in with that link? I'll send you again,
Which
Christina.
You can't get in with the link.
I don't know.
I just send the link again. It should work as everybody else's. You have to have your browser open. What browser are you using? Are you using Google or are you using Firefox or?
Oh yeah, remember you'll need to come in on Chrome if you're Android.
If you're Android, it's got to be Chrome. Or
welcome in, everybody.
It's Scottish Outlooker, Stephen.
I'll send you again.
Iron Firehorse.
Hey guys.
Diesel. So I've never had ham in a Scotch egg before.
No, a lot of people do it that way. Yeah.
I'm going shopping tomorrow, and there's a butcher's where my mum gets all her stuff in that, and they sell the duck's eggs. When's the last time you've had a duck's egg?
Me?
I used to raise ducks.
Yeah. I had some a while back, not too long ago.
What about dumpling?
For me, Christina. Oh no, it's no. Oh, it's because I'm on the tablet. Yeah, it's working for me, Christina. Like just open it in Chrome.
Dumpling is awfully good, isn't it? I mean, dumplings. Oh my God, you can eat it that many different ways.
Dumplings. I like the stew with dumplings with all the meat and the veggie.
Oh no, we're talking about fruit.
We're talking about the fruit dumplings.
I ain't had them. No.
Scottish, it's Scottish. What it is, it's like the stew it, didn't they? They steam it, didn't they?
Yeah. It's made
and it's got cinnamon and stuff in it. It's the skin.
Oh, so
the skin.
like a sweet dumpling.
Aye.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make me some Yorkshires in a couple of days.
Nice.
Oh, Yorkshire puddings, they're good. See, we should start a cookery
That's
show.
another thing I
Cooking
love.
with Danny.
You want to do a cooking show? We'll do a cooking show. You know.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
won't be on the cooking show. I don't know how to cook unless it's chicken.
There you go. There.
You can do most other things. So
I'm so glad Lee likes chicken.
Oh my god.
Well,
do a lot with chicken.
I had a whole list of stuff I was gonna put on my channel. You know, just on one of my channels, some cooking. I got a list
Aye.
about 25 home dishes. You know, Scottish dishes. I
Yeah.
was gonna show everybody how to make, and plus, you know, from everywhere else too. You know, but I was gonna do that, but then I got lazy and I said, nah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
There's
in.
a farm behind my house, and there's a cockerel every morning at 5:30 in the morning, and you can set your watch with it. It
That's the sun
cock-a-doodle does
coming
away. It better watch, because I'll go up there one day with a net and I'll have it for my dinner.
It's to let you know the sun's up, Christopher.
It gets a bit much, you know. It's amazing how they came with time, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing that, isn't it?
As soon as day breaks.
There's with Iron Firehorse, there's 25 Scottish dishes. Haggis. Haggis is the best, I would say. You know?
Yeah.
If it's done
I hope
right.
Christina can get the link.
Did you get the link, Christina? You have to just put it in Chrome.
You have to put Chrome on. So, the afterlife. I noticed you guys have been doing a lot of videos lately crossing over spirits, which I find that really intriguing. Can you, Drew, you want to start first? Can you tell us a wee bit about that? Because that's really interesting.
Well, what had happened was a couple of weeks ago, Christina had told us that there's a pity she couldn't get in, guys. It's her story, really. She was, I think Uncle Danny will be able to tell us more, but a couple of weeks ago, she was telling us in our coven group that she was crossing over spirits, and she's crossing over like 10,000, 20,000 spirits sometimes every night at that point. So she was getting really tired by it, because you've got to talk to the spirits, you've got to make sure that you're doing everything for them that they want to do before they cross over. So in the group, we said to her that she could teach us how to do it and we would help her. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been getting taught it in the coven group, and some of us already knew how to do it, the basics of it, but I wanted to know I was doing it properly. So she taught us how to do it with the pendulum. And what you basically do is you turn on your spirit box, talk to the spirits, make sure that they're around you and that there's spirits there wanting to cross or want to tell their story. And then you either choose one of your guides to help you with this, or ask one of your guides if they want to help you. So I chose Billy. I asked Billy if he wanted to help me to help cross the spirits over. And he did come in and he's been talking to us through the pendulum and things, and he's been preparing the spirits for crossing over. There's a couple of them won't cross. That's just the way it goes. But a lot of them want to tell their story first. It's an amazing experience. It leaves you really, really feeling humble after it, because you do feel the energy. You feel the energy of them crossing. And if you turn on a spirit box when you're crossing them over, you can hear them say goodbye and things, and they see the light. The one I did the other day, the spirits were saying that they seen the light and things. It's an amazing experience. But Uncle Danny could probably tell you more about the actual process of it than I can, or share it.
Feel free to go.
Go ahead, pup.
Oops. Are you going, Pups, or me?
I'm just sitting here chilling.
Andy can go. Danny looks so relaxed.
Yeah, no.
It looks like.
Obviously, with me, like I've done crossings and stuff since I was 16, 17 years old. So I've been doing it for a long time. obviously, poor sister Christina was having loads and loads of spirits coming across to her, like Sister Drew said. And she just said in the room, is there anyone that can help? And I said, well, I've been doing it for years. I can help you. So my first lot of spirits was 5,000. And since then, I've done 15,000. I've got another massive big one on Sunday. And the process is the point is a lot of the energy of spirits here that are staying behind is because they're either wanting to stay with family or they've had something that traumatic or something that's happened. Religion can be a lot of play in this as well. They're very scared to go to the light because they don't trust it because of how they've been told in this world. So a lot of them stay behind and become trapped. And obviously through being trapped or being lost, they start to experience a lot of the emotion and the feelings that they go through in their death. So they're not really, a lot of them are not having good lives. Okay. So we come in and all we do is we open a vortex or a doorway to the other side. Like Sister Drew said, we work with our energies. You can call on the Lord, you can call on the mothers, you can call on anything that's divine and of energy to come forward and help you to take them over. And obviously, like Sister Drew said as well, you speak to the spirits, you build the spirits up. Now, a lot of people that I've noticed that do it, they go straight into trying to cross them and they think that they've gone, and they haven't gone because they've not got to tell their stories, or they haven't got to say how they feel, or they just need a little bit of companionship for a couple of days or something like that. So with me, I will work the spirits up to the point that they're wanting to leave and go to the light. So I'll like give them food and drink, talk to them, explain to them why it's better to be in the light and not here. To work with them really closely, because some of the guys that I get are really, really messed up in the head. Like I do a lot of I'd say like counselling sort of thing for them. I go really deep.
Yep.
And
I would just like to say,
when they're ready, they'll to me that they're ready. We send them over using the curriculum. I can see them. So for me, it's easier to just get on with it.
That's amazing. That is. Just like to welcome Christine Ghost Squad into the room.
I think I figured it out.
See, this is a thing that I've been wondering, right? I've been watching all your videos. I've been watching you doing your crossing over stuff and all that. And maybe Danny can maybe help me with this. But I've heard about this happening. You get these evil entities out there in the world that like to collect souls. You know where I'm going with this, Danny?
Yeah.
Do you ever come across like? Do you ever come across like?
Yeah, that's where I step in, right? That's my part, right? Like there's lots and lots of spirits that are just fed up and they're tired of this place and they want to move on, right? And you know, you think about everything that's gone on in the last few years. A lot of spirits are saying, you know what, I had enough of this shit. I won't get out of here, you know. You think about the tragedies that happened, you know, like 7-Eleven, all these other places. All the lives that were lost, and all these people sticking around because they got all this unfinished business or they want to stick with their family or whatever. But it gets old, right? After a while, it gets old. They just want to get the hell out of here. Like I've had spirits say, you know what, I've been stuck here for so long. I would rather go to hell than have to live this time over and over and over, right? So there's that aspect of it too. On top of everything else, what they've said is absolutely 100% right. But there are some that are just fed up with being here too, right? Mm-hmm. And now for some reason, everybody wants to abandon ship like rats off of
yeah.
So I mean, like you got to stop and think, well, why are all these spirits running off all of a sudden now? Like so many at a time. I think because it does that. Like you guys wouldn't know this, obviously, but every 10 years or so, right? It's been my experience over the last 50 years. Every 10 years or so, there's an influx of spirits all wanting to take off, right? There's like tons and tons, and it'll last for 6 or 7 months, right? And then it dies back down to the normal numbers, like 200 or something, you know. But every 10 years, there's always a big rush of it for some reason, and I think it takes this. I don't know this for sure, but I think if you were a spirit and you're hanging out for 10 years because you want to see your kids grow up, guess what? In 10 years, they're all married off. You know?
Yeah.
Well, they've done what they want to do. Now they want to just go on with their life, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's got a lot to do with it. You know, I think that's a good part of it. But it's always been, and same with, you know, the elder before me. He told me too. Like I told him after the second or third time, it just seems like every 10 years. He says, yeah, it was every 10 years for me and my father and his father too. Right. So it's not something new. It's just something new to people who haven't done it before, you know? So there's that aspect of it as well. But as you were saying, you know, you get some real nasty ones. You got to do, like for me, I have to do water blessings, I have to do different things, right? And a lot of time, there's a lot of nasty ones that want to move on. You got to move them too, right? But see, that's not my job to send them anywhere, right? My job, there's two gates. There's one gate, and it's big. It's a big gate. It's like 50 feet long gate. There's two 25-foot gates that open and close. There's another smaller gate, right? And it's only big enough for one person at a time to go through that gate, right? That's the good gate. But only...
I was just going to say in the chat, Luna Rose, thank you very much for that donation of £10. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
But when you go, Danny.
But the spirits know, like the ones that are supposed to go through the small, you don't tell them, right? Because the big gates will be open, right? And a lot of them will just go straight for that. But the ones who are supposed to go through the smaller gate, they know instinctively. They walk and they go, and they go through the smaller gate, right? But both doors or both gates lead to different places, right? And in my way of thinking, the big gate goes to a bus stop. They go to a bus terminal, and then you got to decide where you're going to end up going, you know, whatever. The smaller gate takes you directly to where you're supposed to go, right?
See,
now, wherever that is, right? Wherever that is, I don't know. It could be, for one spirit going through the small gate, it might be what you'd call heaven. For another spirit going through the small gate, they might be going to what you'd call hell. Who knows? But the ones that go through the small gate are taking a direct route to where they're supposed to be. See? And the ones that go through the bigger gate are going, for whatever reason, they got to do something else before they go to the next gate.
See, that's really interesting. You see that? That's what I was just about to say. Shit, that is so it is kind of like a bus station. So see, here's the thing before we ask Christina about which she does and stuff like that. See if you go to this place, right? Say I dropped down dead right now. Terrible thing, you don't be sad. But anyway, I dropped down dead. I would go to these pearly gates. I would go through the pearly gates. I would end up like a train station or something like that, right? Would I get the choice to like cross over to the other side, or would I get the choice to come back again?
That's above my pay grade. That's above my pay grade. I don't know.
It's different for everybody, I believe. I believe it's each person's individual path that determines where they go.
Yeah, I do believe 100%. I do believe this 100%. But like I say, it's not written in stone, but that's just what I believe.
Yeah.
What you think of as your perfect place to go, okay? That's where you end up. All right? Now, if you're a person that believes in reincarnation, you're going to be reincarnated. If you're a person that believes heaven is a place of field and greens and bunny rabbits and lions, so that's where you're going to go.
Yeah.
You know? But you have to work at it and believe in it in this time. You know?
Yeah.
If you think you're going to go to hell, well, guess what? You just bought yourself a ticket to hell. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly believe that.
See, I get asked this a lot. I'm going to say this, right? I do get asked this a lot. There's a lot of folk ask me things because they ken a lot of people like you and psychics and stuff like that. And they ask me this question, and I never know what to say to them. And they say to me, well, where did Hitler go? And I'm like, I don't know. He probably went to hell. But then again, is he in hell, or is he reliving what he did over and over and over again to all the people that he did it to?
Well, again, that's what would your worst hell be? You know,
Oh God,
an
ABBA concert.
I seen just to give you like a something to chew on. Hell for me and I seen this on this one show. I won't say the show or anything, but this guy was running hell. He was running hell, and his idea, okay, was to make you stand in a line, okay.
Yeah.
And there was a number board that kept flipping, right? And at the end of the line, you were at 45,362. And then it goes click to 61, click to 60. And the guy says, oh, this is terrible. This is a horrible hell. So what happens when you get to the front, right? The guy starts laughing. Says, nothing. You go right back to the back and start again. Right? So
that's
okay, so I don't know what would hell be to you, like I think that's the message that I've always believed is whatever you believe in is what's going to happen. So if you're have positive beliefs, you lived a good life, you tried to be a good person, you might not have succeeded all the time, but you tried, you're going to end up in a fairly decent place, If you're going to be a butthead, and you're going to end up in a bad place. So simple as.
Exactly. So, Christine, it's very, very nice to meet you at last. Could you tell us a little bit about you? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your channel? And everybody, could you please roll your bones, as Danny says in the chat?
That's right. Roll bones, everybody.
Before I say that, I just want to tell you, since you asked the question, but you asked Danny, I know that's your bro. Yeah. But the spirits told me that because I asked about, reincarnation, and I had a lot of little ones at the time, and I had one telepathic one, but she told me, she goes, look, there's a such thing as reincarnation, but you don't get to choose. Only whoever runs that spot, like, so I'm thinking there's like different spots, like, like an office, somebody runs reincarnation, someone runs something else. So she was, she's like, no, they you can't just go and say, no, I want to cross, I want to be reincarnated. That's not how it works. They pick, if they have something for you to do, they put you back. Otherwise, you stay in your heaven. That's what they told me. So I'm relaying the message to you, since that's what they told me.
I want to tell you something funny that I did years and years ago, if it's okay. And it's got to do with that exact subject, with reincarnation. I had this guy, give me the years and telling me what for, that reincarnation is what really happened, and just going on and on. I'm like, well, that's great. I'm glad that's how you feel. I really got nothing bad about that. That's good. If you believe it, I'm just going to support you, right? He goes, yeah. He says, but you believe in this heaven and everything else? I says, yeah. He says, uh-huh. I says, so this reincarnation thing, yeah? He says, yeah. Why do you get reincarnated? Well, he says, you go through life and you're trying to become a higher level being. I said, I understand that part. But why are you getting reincarnated? Well, because you messed up. So you have to try, and then sometimes you come back 4 or 5 times, and then once you get enlightened, then you move on to a different place. I says, oh, I see. Okay, this is good. You believe in reincarnation. I'm going to keep believing in my heaven and my God and everything else too. I says, because it's a perfect solution for both of us. And he says, well, how's that? I says, well, the way you figure it, if you go through and you don't do everything spot on the way that you're supposed to, or meet all your goals, you got to come back and try again. Yeah. He goes, yeah. Well, if I don't follow that path, I'm totally screwed right from the start. So I'll be back and I'll get another shot at it later. So either way, we're going to be okay. He's like,
Can you imagine how many times? Can you imagine how many times some people have came back though? Can you imagine how many times someone's actually come back?
Look, and if it's me, I can be honest here. If it's me coming back because I messed up, this is like my 585th trip. Okay, I'm telling you right now. You know, because I screw up a lot. You know, if it's me, I don't even remember it, but here I am again. You know, so.
I know. It's Christine, would you like to?
Yeah, so I think actually almost everybody knows me in the chat, but just for anybody who's going to watch or who really doesn't know me, Christina from Christina and Son Ghost Squad, and my son and I, him not as much now since he turned 18, but my son and I started this channel because he was seeing ghosts and I wanted to talk to my mother who passed away. So that's the short part of it. Danny and I did a live stream on Wednesday where I tell my whole story about how I got into paranormal if you're super interested about that. So basically, and my channel's not only paranormal, I love history. I'm a big history person, so I take you guys to a lot of historic places. When I don't have anything.
Queens, New York.
Yes, I'm in Queens, New York. And when I don't have anything else, sometimes I cook for you guys. I love crafting, so I do crafting 2 times a week on the channel. Then I put my crossover audio. Now since I've been doing so many, and I'm like, it's so sad because they're talking, and I want other people to hear it. And sometimes I can't even go through it all, but I'll put it on the channel. I try to write everything, guys. Sometimes I don't get to it, but so that other people could hear, like, because it's interesting to me. I know every time I listen to it, like what people think about and say before they go. And what really interests me is since I've been teaching different people and they're all from different spots, like, Drew's spirits don't talk the same as Mystical Love and Lights, and Mystical Love and Lights, they don't talk the same as Tina Sisters. And, then I helped Kim yesterday in PA, and Kim's spirits don't talk anything like, Drew's, so it's very funny. So like, I did one with Tina, and her spirit said, thanks for the food, and she's like, oh, they're thanking me for the food. I go, that's nice. She goes, well, they must thank you. You feed them. I go, yeah. The spirits usually, first of all, try to put a menu, like an order in, like I want Avoca Lemino, I want halloumi. The other one's like, where's my steak? I'm like, I'm a vegetarian. Like it's like, not thanks for the food. I mean, where's my steak? So I find it interesting. Like, so that's why I put up all the audio for you guys.
That it's quite interesting where you come from. I mean, New York City. I mean, that's one of the biggest cities in the world. Okay, I mean, I've got a fascination with New York City. I think it's a beautiful city. And what happened with September? Have you ever crossed any spirits to do with September the 11th? Is anything like that ever came across?
Yes, I went to a memorial in Bayshore, Long Island, because I grew up. I was born and raised in Astoria, but I moved to Long Island for about 10 years after my mother passed away, and now I came back to Astoria, Queens. Anyway, so when I was in Long Island, I went to a 9/11 little memorial for the people who lived in that town of Babylon. I was in the next town over, and so they had a whole memorial. I did EVPs there, and then afterwards I went back to thank them for, they really helped me. They told me that I was going to be attacked by a spirit, and then like I was, Danny had to help me to get rid of that spirit. But so I went back to thank them and whatever, and then I asked them if they wanted to cross. So so from that little town, I haven't gone into the city to do anything. I went actually to Battery Park with James the Fan and Chelsea Luna when they came to New York. and I went to Battery Park, and there was a lot there of like war, and just people who came over. So we did that, and that was after 9/11. But I don't know if I had any, because when you have 20,000 people that you have to cross over, it's hard to ask them all. Like, that's why I leave a few spirit boxes. I'm like, can you tell me something, or your name, when you died, where you were from, what you did, and then they ask me for steaks. So it's and even the other spirits laugh sometimes, because I'll keep asking the same question, and he's like, nobody's answering. And I'm like, I know.
Those New York spirits.
Yeah, New York spirits, they
I mean, I'm
curse.
trying.
They're
There's a
crazy.
See, there's a place, I was trying to find it in the phone there. I seen it on a documentary, and it was in New York City. I can't remember what it's called. It'll come. Maybe you'll know what it is, Christine. It was an island that was used for like when refugees were coming in to stay in New York City. They put them in there, and it's meant to be like one of the most haunted buildings in New York City. It's an island. I think it was to do with immigration or something.
Well, the immigration island was Ellis Island. I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
Nah, because that was just like a crossover spot.
Yeah.
So people were happy to come, and they normally didn't get killed there. They came over from like Italy or whatever. They put their name down. They lied about their age. Like half my family, the women, lied about their age. Like my whole family does that. The Greeks, the Italians, everything, right? So like one of my Greek, my Gumbara, they call him, like my Nuna, my godmother, came over, and she said she was 5 years younger than she was, and they wrote it down. And then I saw, my aunt and I saw her getting off the train like the other day, and she's walking down the train station, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm coming home from work. And I'm like, you're still working? She's like, well, I have 5 more years to go, because even though I'm 70, it says I'm 65 because I lied about my age, Like, so to get her full pension, she has to work another 5 years. And she was like, worst thing I ever did, but so it's kind of funny. But so most spirits, that island is okay. There's other islands like near there that is like it housed like a cemetery for all, and they don't let you go on that one. It's just where they put all the bodies for the smallpox, like all the pandemics. They just threw them in there.
That's the place I was talking about.
Yeah, that's like in between Brooklyn and Manhattan, and but you're not allowed on there. You have to have to get a whole big pass and stuff. But I'm sure it's haunted, because there's just like numbers. There's not even gravestones, so there's just like they had to fight to figure out who was buried there. Then they started putting markers. It was a big long process of that, so I can imagine. And there's a whole bunch of other ones on my channel. I actually took you to an island called Roosevelt Island. It used to be called Welfare Island, and I took you to the abandoned smallpox hospital a few times. That place was haunted. You actually saw spirits in the windows, walking. I mean, everywhere is haunted, but some places are just more than others. Like my house is the most haunted house in all of New York, because there's probably I have a crossover tonight at 9:00. I have about 7,000 here waiting. So right now, my house is the most haunted in all of New York. By the way,
I watched a program about this once, and I can't remember where it was in New York City, but it was a disaster that happened with the subway system. And I think it was the very first subway system. There was a collapse, and I think there were Irish immigrants that were killed in the collapse. I mean, see, when you travel the subways, because obviously New York City is one of the biggest subway systems in the world, do you see anything there?
it's the biggest city in the world. But yeah, but in the subway, I think more the Long Island Railroad is easier to find spirits than the regular New York subway, only because it travels at a high speed. It passes by a lot of space spots. When I do like a spirit box on the Long Island Railroad, I hear everything from screams, and I hear everything through every town of Long Island. Underneath ground, it's really hard. Like, so the underground subway system is a little hard to
Yeah.
find spirits unless they're walking up to you talking to you.
As I'm definitely, guys, if you've not subscribed to Christine's Ghost Squad channel, please go and subscribe to her channel, because I'm going to be watching the one tonight when you went to that place, because I think that'll be fascinating. You're
The
sitting there really.
smallpox hospital.
Yeah, that's it. So I have to obviously talk to my mystical wife here. How are you, my mystical wife? You're sitting there all sitting still, you know. How are
I'm just
you, and
waiting my
how's the spirit
turn.
crossing with you?
Yeah,
Well, there you
actually,
go, and you go. Yeah.
actually, a lot like Sis Sherry does. She crosses over during her normal investigations, and I was doing the same, but mine are just like, one or two or three at a time. When Christina reached out to all of us in the group and asked for help, we all jumped in to help her. We're like, hey, we're here to help you. But the thing is we only crossed over small groups at a time. So we all said, okay, Christina, show us how you do it. The basics, how you do it, because she crosses over thousands and thousands at a time, which it can be overwhelming and it zaps your energy if you don't know what you're doing. So we all said, okay. So she took us one on one and she showed us a process when she was doing it. And then she would give us some to cross them over. And so once she taught us how she does it, then we incorporate our own way to do it as long as we have those basics intact.
Yeah.
Like she's talking about feeding them. Well, that comes across for two things. One, you're feeding them, you have food there. I do mine, I do mostly fruit, and not only are you offering them the fruit so they can eat, so they can have the energy to cross, you also have to keep your energy up as you are doing it so that your energy doesn't pull down. So you're eating it at the same time. You're showing them the food is good, it is here. When I was with Christina and we were, she had done hers, and then she sends me like 10,000, over 10,000 to cross over. So I have the fruit, and I mentioned to them, that the apple's good, they can, have the energy, and I'm eating the apple. And I had meant, because when I did it the first time with Christina, I was in the van off the property, because I wasn't doing it on my property because there's so much negative, haunted ish things going around the outside of my property. So I didn't want to open up anything and have ones coming in that I didn't want, meaning on my property. I kind of rephrase that differently. So we were doing it. I was doing it across the road in the van, and it was funny because, okay, so as we're talking, and I mentioned the apple, and I said I have an apple tree that's got really good apples on my property right on the corner. It comes across, and it's funny because
On my spirit box.
yeah, it comes across because she's with me on the phone when I'm doing it, comes across hers. And what did it say? Like, I like apples. I'm gonna go to the apple tree or something like that.
That's amazing.
It said, oh yeah. It said, oh, apples are good. I'm gonna go to the. I'm gonna wait under the apple tree or something like that.
Yeah.
So then she decided to do the crossovers at the apple tree now.
Yeah. So we're doing this now. Keep in mind, since I have protection around my property, I wanted to say this is how good it works. I showed Christina because we were on the phone face to face. I said, listen, I had my spirit box in my hand, and it's quiet in the, it's quiet right at the doorway, right where I did my protection prayer, and I put down my protection, which is salt that I make.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm inside the area, not a sound on the spirit box. I told Christina, watch this. So I show her where the line is. I step over in the spirit box, and I mean, just chatting away. So real quick, I step back into it, quiet, not a sound. I step back and just going. That's how good that works to keep them out of that. So after that, I was like, God Almighty, it is so hot in his van. I'm not doing it in the van no more. So I told Christina, I'm going to start doing it under the apple tree. So when me and Christina did it, she had crossed over. Let me close that door. Hold on.
For a second, I thought I could hear like these weird noises. I thought somebody was singing to me because I've got these. I've got this season.
That's somebody mowing the lawn. Is that Lee mowing the lawn?
Lee is making his milkshake for his weightlifting stuff.
Protein shake.
Yeah, he's making his muscle shake. So, so when we were doing that, Christina had crossed over 10,000. She sent me over 10,000 across. And at that point, we were like, you know what? I'm going to dedicate, because I have my whole property.
Well, I can't say that I really sent 10,000. It was your Tennessee spirits, but they were in Tennessee. I didn't send you some from New York. My spirits worked with your spirit guides to get them to your house, like to know, that you were doing it. I didn't take a whole bunch of New York spirits and tell them go curse at her house. I didn't do that.
So see, I had over 10,000.
I did that to Sherry, but I didn't do it to you.
I mean, that must be intense. That must be intense having all these spirits at your house and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you can feel them. The energy, when they're all there, the energy gets really thick because they're there. You can feel the energy. So what I started doing was I went back out. Friday, I did another crossover, and there was another over 10,000 that I crossed over. But what I did is where the apple tree is sitting, I took that whole corner of my property and cleansed the whole area around it and made that apple tree their spot, their meeting spot, so that every, like Friday, they know, and I'm going to make me a little plaque and everything for it, but they know that's their spot to wait for me there so that Fridays I can cross them over. Some does it, like Drew said. Some of them don't. They want to tell, their story. One of them was a female. She gave her name. She hadn't crossed over yet because she said on the spirit box, she wanted me to hear her footsteps and her voice first before she crossed. She wanted somebody to know she still existed because some of them are confused. Maybe they have mental issues. Maybe they were sick when they crossed. Maybe it was suddenly. They don't even know. Some don't even know they're dead at all. So she was like wanting me to know, hey, I'm here. I exist. I want you to hear my voice. I want you to hear my footsteps before I cross. Some people don't do prayers. I do a prayer that kind of covers everybody. No religion, no beliefs. It just kind of takes them all in. I'm not the one crossing them over, like Christina says. We're not the ones crossing them over. It's our spirits. I have 6 spirits, so for me it goes pretty fast because I got 6 of them working with me, and so they're the ones that is crossing them over. So,
well, technically, you're helping, you're lending your energy, but you need your spirit guides here to contact the other side to open the gate, because technically, a human can't open a gate on the other side in heaven because we're not there, so you need a spirit to help you with that stuff. So
it's an ongoing process as well. Yeah, it's never ending, to be honest. I find myself turning on the spirit box a couple hours a day just to talk to the spirits and see what ones want to tell their story and different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only experienced it once. A spirit getting crossed over, and it was that time I taken Drew. Is it Covington Castle, Drew?
Yeah, wee
With the
girl.
little girl.
The little girl.
And that was the only time I experienced it. That was really weird. That I felt like I was on a ship out at sea. Honestly, I felt, for the people in the chat, it felt like I was on a ship out at sea. I stood in the corner. The ground was stones, rocks, and I could feel myself like slowly starting to sway. And it was so weird. And when Drew started to cross it over, you could tell everything just changed. The weather changed, it all dark, and then it started to wind. Yeah. And then when we left the building, the sun came back out again. And
it was very humbling.
It was. And see, that's a question. This is for Oz, whoever wants to answer this. And it was, remember that time we went to the graveyard, Drew? It was the witch's graveyard, we call it. And we were walking about and we were filming, and everything just changed as if there was like something there that did not want us there. Do you think there was maybe spirits held there, Drew? Or do you think they were held there and there was something very unhappy that we were there?
See, a lot of them are scared to cross, as they were saying. Religion's got a big part to play in a lot of it. A lot of them are scared of the judgment. That's what I'm finding. A lot of them are scared of that judgment. But in that cemetery, because we were only thinking we were communicating with the person with the witch, there was obviously other energies there that we didn't know we were communicating with, because Mystical Love and Light, Sherry and Phoenix seen them, the spirits in the background after the event. So they're obviously, we were feeling all the energies of the spirits. So I think we'll need to go back there and talk to the spirits again, to be honest.
Yeah, and sometimes, there's always
a lot of. What I will say though, normally a lot of times, if you're in a place and you get that sort of effect, you have that sort of energy come across you, 9 times out of 10 it is your spirit. It's your spirit guides warning you, like they'll make something change to make you feel you need to leave. A lot of time it is them like doing that, like, yeah, you've got that energy of the spirits doing it and maybe enforcing that they're not happy. But when you've got that feeling to go and you're seeing things changing, 9 times out of 10 it's the spirit guides going, you need to leave, and now, like, 9 times out of 10 it's them stepping in.
I have noticed. Oh, sorry, when you go, Christine.
Okay, and I was just going to say sometimes, and I've been to a lot of places investigating, there'll be a lot of people, let's say there's 10 people at a graveyard, 10 spirits. 9 of them will want to talk to you. There'll be one, either they were raised that, like that, maybe I'm a witch because I'm talking to the dead or something. So they don't want to talk to you, and they'll tell you. Or be one cranky person that's just an idiot, or a bully to the other spirits, and they'll be like, leave, get out, go. But, and so I don't know what their story is. So like, it just happened recently, and I'm like, okay, thanks, whatever. And I turned off the spirit box, and I turned on the K2 meter, and I'm like, well, for any spirits who do want to communicate, can you touch the box and whatever? Do you want me to come back? Do you want to be crossed over? You can. And I didn't do it with the spirit box. I just talked. So, and then I left. And I know I crossed some spirits from there last night. So, it's, sometimes it's just that there's one crab to tell you, get out, go, nothing to do with anything. He's just a crabby dude or a crabby woman who doesn't want to talk to you.
Most of the time they'll probably stay in their own place in the cemetery, but when you're walking in there and you're saying, hello, my name is Andrina, do you want to speak to me? They're obviously coming from all directions to come to you. So that's how you start hearing all the different voices on the box. Because there's all the spirits have gathered around you. So they're probably going to argue with each other.
It's so fascinating, and when you go, Danny.
I just wanted to say, Chris, it's a bloody good, it's a really good thing that you were so kind of mystical and let her have the floor for a minute. Because when she moved her head there on the middle shelf, I see an empty jar.
I'll climb out the jar, you know.
Wait, let me change up my laugh.
So I mean, it's a good thing you gave her the floor for nice. You make sure you be nice to her because she's got that empty jar right there. I see it.
Well, I'm just going to say this for all the trailers. For all the trailers I make and stuff like that, I've got a get out of jar card there. So
Yeah.
Because when she puts you in the jar, I was going to sit on the top and start yelling, "I got me lucky charms" and stuff. And I was going to bring a little block and tap it on the lid and drive you nuts. That's what I was going to do.
oh my god,
That
can
is
you
so
imagine what
funny.
that would be like? I mean, I when we were watching you when I was watching you the other night there, I couldn't help myself. I'd say you had actually had Eli on, and you were talking about his near-death experience, and you were going on, and I couldn't help myself in the chant. I says, I'm going to come back and haunt you if I died before you. And then I said, knowing my luck, I'll end up in one of my mystical jars.
I think I put that on the screen too.
Well, it's so funny because I especially tell people that I don't like, I don't know what you believe, because sometimes they ask me about it. I said, look, there's only one thing I'm going to tell you. And they're like, what? I'm like, if the light comes for you, go. Don't wait. Because especially if you're rude or something, or you're bitter after you die, nobody's going to cross you over because you'll have to look for somebody like me. Like trying to tell them, well, good luck trying to find somebody to cross you over because I'm not doing it. But, so make sure you go to the light. No, I cross over everybody. I don't care who they are, what they did. I mean, some of them curse me out. They curse me in Greek, English when I first go to talk to them because they don't realize that I can, I guess, cross them over. I mean, one told me in Greek, go to hell. And then I was like, well, I said, okay, well, if you change your mind and you want to cross over, I'm a few blocks away or whatever. I ended up taking 200 home from the cemetery once everybody heard that. Him and his wife were one of them. And, yeah, his wife, I think, tried to apologize or whatever, but they'll curse you and they'll be pissy at you for talking to them, and then once they find out, you could help them, they're like, oh, wait.
My job ready.
Actually, I was gonna say Christina doesn't get all of them that are like gripey and cuss her out and do all that. She gets a lot of spirits that flirt with her, that
Yes.
say all kinds of things to her. They tell her how beautiful she is. So she gets a lot of those spirits also that is not shy when it comes to Christina.
Much like Sherry's spirit.
New York
Not
spirits
spirit.
flirt with you until you will take off your clothes for them, because that's what they do in life and that's what they do in death. So
But here's an interesting one. How do they know to come to you? I mean, I know there's Facebook out there for the loving people, but is there how do they advise it to each other? Is there spirits out there that go around about and say, oh, you want to go to Queens and that woman over there, she's crossing people over? How do they know that these are dead?
it is word of mouth, but it's also, I walk around with spirits all day long. I have my 2 spirit guides who walk with me. I walk in the street. The spirits see that I'm walking with 2, kids, spirits. They're like, oh, we're going to follow her. And then they ask the kids, and the kids are like, if they like them, they'll be like, yeah, okay, come. And that's how I get most of them. Actually, my experience, that's how I get most of them. And the kids know where to go. Like, they picked the place that I went yesterday. I was like, I had all these historical places picked out. I'm like, where you want to go? And they're like, like here. And then I said the park, with the tree, the ancient tree. And they're like, yeah, they knew there was 107 spirits there. They knew, and they were like, no, you got to go there because they want to come,
Your guides will bring them in as well. Look, I'm trusting Billy, my guide, or any other guides that want to help me to find the people that want to cross.
And to the spirit world's like Peyton Place. Okay, let's be honest. If one person's doing crossovers, the other spirits can say, "Hey, this person does cross," and the other one says, "Yeah, you know what? This person does too, and this person does too, and this person does too." And before you know it, they're all over. Same with spirit boxes. You do a spirit box. That's exactly why, if Buttons is doing a spirit box, the same spirits that show up on hers come to mine. And they go to and they go to because they all interact with each other, and they say, "Oh, if you want to talk, so and so is going to have a box on today."
And I've always been a beacon for spirits, so it don't matter. They're always attracted anyway. Plus, I got the sticks.
They'll not come near you now after hearing that jar remark.
Shit. That's it.
With them, obviously, you've got
I'll be right back.
You do have like the word of mouth where they could talk to each other and stuff. But if you're somebody that's spiritually open and spiritually gifted, then we have a beacon and a light that shows to the spirit world that we can see them and communicate and connect. So when energies are communicating with us and talking to us, because obviously they're picking up on our energy and what we can do, and we're talking to them and saying that we are investigators, we cross spirits, we do this, obviously then it becomes word of mouth, because they're going over and saying, "Oh, she can see, she talks to me, but she can also cross you and do this, like, because everybody's different. Like, I see things, Mystical sees them as well, Sister Christine feels and things like that. But you've always got this spirit. Sister Drew feels and picks up on things. We've all got these different spiritual energy lights within us that kind of clarifies to spirits what we can do, and that's how they come to us.
And if you go back to what Eli was saying,
your guides help them to find, way.
Do you remember what Eli was saying, that when he had his near-death experience, he could tell everything about people? So looking at the spirit's perspective for somebody still alive, those spirits that walk around already know what everybody alive does. Looking at it from Eli's perspective, so the spirits already know before you tell them anything.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, and like when it comes to these crossings and stuff, okay, you don't see them running up to me. They don't come running to me at 10,000 at a time or anything. Nothing. Okay, they all know if you can get onto my property and go to my grove, the grove will open the door for you. You go to the grove. Don't come to me, right? Because I don't want any part of it. I'm going to be honest, But in saying that, there'll be spirits that are troubled, or spirits that are nasty, or spirits have given other people problems, or spirits that are just, acting up because they can't get no one to notice them. That's where I'm happy to step in and help them out and make sure that they cross and get them, where I do my water blessings and everything else and stuff, right? And I think, and to be honest, I think that tells a lot right there, where these beautiful women here, every one of them, are willing to do that job. And that's a tough job, okay? Don't kid yourself. Crossing those spirits over is hard work. It's hard on your soul. It's hard on your brain. It's hard on your heart. It's a very emotional and a very hard thing to do. Well, these wonderful women will step up to the plate and say, "Yeah, come one, come all. We're going to help you if we can." Right? Well, that's a testament to them and a testament to their endurance, and why I'm proud of each and every one of them. Right? That's why I say to myself, "Hey, we got a good group of sisters here," right? Because not everybody will do it, because it's a bloody hard job, and I'll be the first one to take my hat off and say I'm proud of each and every one of them, right? And I support each and every one of them, right? But that's not something I will do, right? Because I got other jobs that I have to do, right? but I just don't have the like. Okay, when I crossed Peter, my next cinema coming out when I was doing the crossing for Peter and a few of the angry spirits. Those are the ones I work with, right? The angry ones. So my next cinema coming up on Tuesday is, when I'm crossing Peter over and the people that were with Peter. Okay, that's the type of crossings I do, right? When I'm done that, I'm dusted for a week, week and a half, 2 weeks. I can't do squat, right? Now, and then you got these 4 girls crossing over all these spirits, and the only difference is they want to go. Okay, those spirits want to leave. The spirits I deal with don't want to go, right? And that's the difference right there, right? So, like, if anybody says to me, well, what do you think of what they do? Well, I'm going to tell you straight up, that's an honorable job that they do, and I'm proud of each and every one of them. I hold them in high regards for what they do. I'm very, very proud.
Danny.
Thank you. Sister Phoenix as well in the chat. She does it also.
Yeah. And I get very upset because my sister.
There's a lot of sisters doing it at the minute. There's not just 4. There's all.
Yeah.
And I realize that, but you 4 are on the panel right now, right?
Yeah. he can't rattle off every name. He didn't remember what he had for breakfast this morning.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast. You're right. But Tina too. And Kim too, eh? I think Kim's doing it.
Kim as well.
Kim and Tina. I mean, come on, guys. This is a good group of sisters that's seriously stepping out of their way and going out of their way to help people that, the 10,000 spirits they crossed yesterday might not mean squat to you. Okay, they might not mean shit to you, but when it's your mother or your sister or your loved one that they help get to a better place, then you're gonna care. Okay.
And there is a lot of lost souls out there, guys. There is.
You might not give a crap. You might not give a crap about what they do or that they pass this one or that. Yeah. But when it becomes your loved one, when it gets closer to home, you're gonna beg these women that you don't give a shit if they do it. You're gonna beg them for help. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. Or when it's yourself, which is what I always tell them. Like they're like, so my sister believes in this stuff to a certain degree, but she doesn't believe that I could do it because I'm her sister, so I can't do anything right. But anyway, so her friend is a medium who has supposedly all these powers. She believes her every bit, So I asked her friend, this supposed medium, I said to the friend, I said, so do you cross over spirits? She goes, oh, no. I said, why?
Yeah.
She said, no, it takes too much energy. It's too hard. Then, you have them bothering you. I'm like, oh. I said, so, but you have spirit guides and all these spirits, like my mother, because she always wants to give me a message from my mother, right? I said, my mother comes and talks to you. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, bullshit. I said, there's no way if I die and let's say I'm looking for help or anything, and I'm going to go to this medium and talk to her and give her a message for my loved one when she won't cross me over. You're dumb. I'm not doing that. And nobody else is. I don't even think you're a medium. Wow. My sister was mad. Everybody was mad. I don't care. Yeah. That's how I feel. If you don't cross over spirits, they're not going to talk to you. Who's going to talk to you? You're not going to help them. What would they gain?
It's not respectful.
It's not respectful. No, it's terrible.
It's not respectful. And that's what I said when I started, because I've been doing this since I was 16 or 17, and a bit like my pups there, okay? I don't just work with spirits that are just crossing over. I do help spirits that don't want to go. I've got spirits that have been through abuse, that have been sexually abused. I've had spirits that have been physically and emotionally abused. So, and I've even had really dark and really horrible energies that have wanted to go over and be better. And with them, it's a little bit different. You can't just send them over and talk to them. I've had to do blessings and cleansings. I've had to help them to rearrange the way that their energy is and the way that they see things. I've had to put certain materials out. You can't just go crossing them. I've had to put things like frankincense and myrrh, coal, all sorts of things that you do and use to work with negative energy. And it's the same with the ones that are troubled and that. I've had to cancel them. I've had to give them food. I've had to do cleansings and blessings. I've had to do meditation bits with them to try and get them into a calmer mood. Then they're ready to go. And it isn't something like my processes I do don't take a couple of days. Mine can take months just for a couple of spirits to want to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This to me is not easy work either. Like, it is hard, but I do a lot harder work than what I'm doing here. But this to me is the most heart-wrenching, because anybody that's crossing spirits over, you can't help but get attached to these energies when you hear their stories, the way that you can feel them. It's a really huge thing to be connected to them. And when they go, I'm telling you, I cried on both of my streams done recently when I let them spirits go, because it does emotionally clutch on them. And I believe that anyone in the paranormal field that is an investigator or anything should know how to cross spirits. If you're an investigator, you should know how to cross spirits. They are the most
I get real emotional.
Here. Nothing else.
I get real emotional. Yeah.
Well, for me, like for myself, when I crossed Peter over, which is the cinema that's coming up, and a couple people that were there, that was heart-wrenching for me. That was really, really tough, and I was almost crying. But they were happy tears too, because they finally, going someplace good. You know what I mean? So I had that going on. Like when Jason was here, the poor guy was just at work, right, doing security. He was doing his job, and because he wouldn't let people in, they shot him in the face, right? So and he was, of course, bitter, and I just had a newborn kid, just got married. Now the guy's goner, right? So he's full of hatred, full of anger, So I had to work with him for 4 or 5 months. Had him at my house every other day, working with him, trying to allow himself to forgive himself so that he could forgive them, so that he could move, right? Like he was stuck here. I told him, if you're going to live with this anger and this hatred, in 20 years, 30 years, you're going to become a twisted human, a twisted spirit. We can't let you do that, right? But when he forgave himself and he forgave those others, I fell on the floor, literally. Like the energy that left, like when he let the energy go, it knocked me on my ass, right? Like I literally hit the floor. And then I felt so light, like I was floating. Of course I wasn't. My ass was on the floor. But I felt like I could float, right? So, and that just when you're working with them and you're doing what these girls all do, and when you're putting your heart and your soul into your work and your full belief into your work, right? That's what makes it happen.
Yeah.
Right? That's what makes it. You can't do it half-assed. And that's like what Pup says. I agree with Pup. If you're investigating, you should know how. But on the other hand of that, not everyone's supposed to. Not everyone is ever going to learn how. Not everyone's going to have the ability to do that. That's why there's so few. Like if everyone could cross.
No, I know that. Pup. Someone to learn you though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyone,
I mean, if you can, then it's great to do. But the thing is, not everyone can.
Right. Say somebody's watching this now, right, and they're no into the supernatural whatsoever, but maybe they're watching this for a reason. Maybe they're watching this because they think their house is haunted or something like that. Is there anything they can do right now that could help maybe cross whoever's in there?
Well, yes. The first thing that you should, if you seriously, honestly, everyone, okay, if you're watching this because you've got something nasty or even something that you don't even know if it's nasty, because cupboard doors are open and slam, things happen. It might not be a bad ghost, it just might be someone trying to get attention. Okay? So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Second thing is get a hold of someone to investigate it. You're not crazy, you're not going nuts. Get a hold of somebody, anybody to investigate for you, okay? They will know who to contact, right? If they don't know who to contact, any of these people here, you know, any of the circle of groups that we just contact anybody, and they will. They're all going to help you. Okay.
Right.
Live with it
Okay.
and think that you're losing your mind when it could be something serious, right? So get it checked out. That's the first thing. Okay. That I would say on that note, right? And the other thing is, you know, the best thing you gotta stay in control of your house. So the next step or the other step is you got something in your house. You got to stand firm and say, look, this is my house, right? This is my place. You want to stay here? Fine for now. We'll see how that goes. But you stay on your side of the veil. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you're here. If you want to stay here, you stay on your side. I'll stay on my side, right? But if you're going to keep coming on my side, I'm going to get someone to come and remove you. You know, and 9 times out of 10, that'll be all you have to do. Okay. If that doesn't work, then you're going to have to get a hold of someone to investigate and then go, like, just take it in steps. Okay. And understand this too. It's not gonna be better tomorrow. Okay. It's not something that's going to be, boom, someone comes, investigates, and they get rid. No, doesn't work that way. They're going to have to investigate, find out what it is, who it is. If it's just a human spirit, they can get rid of it in a couple of days, probably. If it's something else, you might need different techniques. You know, like there's so many variables. But no matter, even if it's just a regular Joe or Sally, okay, people have to go through their evidence. They got to check it out. They got to confer with other people. You know, maybe with a pastor, maybe with a priest, maybe a shaman, a druid, whoever. They got to confer with them to find out what they think they should do, right? So it's not something that's going to happen, boom. You have to be patient, right? So that's, you know, for someone who's getting a fresh haunting or whatever, that's good. If you've only been there for 3 weeks, get the hell out of Dodge. Move. If you've been there for more than 3 weeks, you're screwed. They're going to follow you if you go out of there, okay? If you've been there for 3 weeks and you move to another house, they're just going to follow you, okay? After 3 weeks, you're pretty much stuck with them. So, but if it's just something brand new,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a fact.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they tether themselves to you. So they're tethered to your house, but they also tether to you. So if you decide to leave your house, they'll snap the tether off the house and keep the tether on you, right? But after 3 weeks, same when you go out doing an investigation. That's why I put how to make ghost stop on the channel. You go on an investigation, you might not realize there's a ghost following you, right? You might not know it. But basically what happens is we all have a scent, okay? So do spirits. And my only way to describe this is sometimes you'll smell flowers, you know, that's a nice ghost. Sometimes you'll smell honey. Sometimes you'll smell honeysuckle, you know, honeysuckle mixed with jasmine, that's shakara, right? Cedar with a cherry cigar smoke, that's astral, right? Like every spirit has a smell. So do we, the spirits. I don't know what we smell like. Big Mac, bacon, fries. I don't know what we smell like, but we all have a certain scent, right? Or we all have a certain scent. And it's not really a smell per se as it is our energy output, okay? So say you go to an old factory and a spirit's been stuck in this factory for 50 years. They like your scent. So they might not let you know they're there, but you might feel like someone's following me. You might get this really weird feeling, but there's nothing, you know, I mean, like you can't see nothing, hear nothing. When you leave that factory and you're getting in your vehicle, then for God's sakes, cover your feet and wash your hands with Ghost Stop and get the hell out of Dodge, okay? Now, when you get home, just for safety thing, if you feel like they're still there, okay, again, use some Ghost Stop, go in the house. Because what happens is Ghost Stop has a different scent altogether, okay? It has a different energy, okay? So spirits like a dog, okay? And I don't mean this disrespectfully, spirits. I'm just using it for an example. They lock onto your scent and they're going to follow you, period, right? If they're in your house are with you for 72 hours, okay, for 3 days, they can attach directly to you, okay, or directly to your house, right? But when you use ghost stuff, you change your scent before you go in your house, or even if you've been in your house and you realize in 2 days, oh my shit's happening here. You want to put ghost stuff because it changes the scent, right? They're not bound to you yet. They haven't put the tether on you yet. So the scent changes, right? And they're snapped right back to where they came from. Like automatically, it's just like a rubber band, right? If you can break your scent from them for a second, right? That plugs them up, the ghost stuff. So they don't know where you went. So they're snapped back like a rubber band to the factory, right? And they go flying right back to the factory where they should have stayed. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's these type of things that, so many different little things that you can do to protect yourself if you just do it, and that's the thing. If you don't do it, it's not going to help you.
Before the end of the show, because we don't have long, because it's getting recorded to get uploaded in the podcast and things like that. Before the end of the show, what is Ghost Stop? How do you make it? Where do you get it from?
I will be applying it in my shop.
Yeah, you can get it. You get it from the shop there. I mean, some of the people.
I already made it.
Yeah, me and Sharon. Depends on where you are in the world.
Other than that, if you check out, so you want to be a paranormal investigator on my channel and go through it all, you'll find it there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know which episode it was or anything, but the point is you can make it yourself.
We're learning to make quite a few things though, Pops, aren't we?
Yeah, you can make it yourself, guys, or if you want, say, Pup to make it because you want her energy in there to give it a little boost. If you feel that's going to make it better for you, then go ahead and call her. She'll be happy. Anybody.
Depends on where you are in the world.
Prayers and their energy on it, that's fine. But you can use your own prayers, your own energy. So.
Chris, do you want to hear what I say to the spirits to ease them into crossing over when I do mine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. This is what I say to them. I call upon the guardians of the watchtowers of the north, the east, the south, and the west. I call upon my guides and guardians, my angels and ancestors to be with me now in the protective capacity. Guide my hands and my mind as I assist these souls in being released from being earthbound. I call to all spirits here to not be afraid, to not fear persecution or purgatory, to not let the beliefs of this earth or the flesh prevent you from crossing over to the other side. Wonderful freedom, forgiveness, and release awaits you. There is no man or spirit, good or bad, who can keep you here. It is your choice, and if you choose to cross over, you will be safe and free. Let nothing bind you to this earth where there is nothing for you. Cross over to where you belong. I invite you to go through the
Somebody didn't want to hear the end of that prayer.
Where'd she go?
She's still there.
Oh.
Check the basement.
Sis?
See, that's the dark end, these guys.
That was weird. I went away.
You got clicked right off.
You're finished as well.
I know. What happened?
You just left.
Did you at least get to hear it?
Yeah. Except when you said there's nothing that
you've got any wanting to cross.
You can cross over, then all of a sudden, bam. So someone didn't the last 2 sentences read.
Oh, so okay. So the last was it is your choice, and if you choose to cross over, you will be safe and free. Let nothing bind you to this earth where there is nothing for you. Cross over to where you belong. I invite you to go through the gates of light and free yourself. You do not have to stay here and have nothing to fear. You are free to go. Go now.
There you go. That part someone didn't want you to say, but that's it.
That's weird. I wonder who that was. I wonder
I don't know.
that was.
I don't know, but probably a
Well,
collector.
It could be somebody
You
that's
know-
scared. It could be
And I
somebody
had
that
my
was trying to
hands on
stop
my
it. Maybe
knees,
there's
so I
somebody
don't
trying to
know.
go for it.
I was like this. I was like this,
Yeah.
and I'm the only one in here with the power to like take people out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
There's
is
one more thing. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry. What? Okay. Asher wants me to tell you something real quick. Okay. I was at a seminar. I got called to a seminar, and it was about people wanting to check out. Okay, I'm not saying that word, but they wanted to check out of life. Okay.
yeah.
And so I did all this chit chat and everything else. And so someone said, any last words? Like what would be, just in case, someone needs to hear it, right? Think of what last words that you would say. Well, when I said it, we ended up with 20 responses. The outfit that was running this, of people saying that it was the last couple of words that made them think and they their mind, right? So what I said was, basically, think about it. Just take a second and think about it if you're planning on checking out, because it's not fair to the family and it's not fair to me or people like me, because the minute you do that, you're going to have words that you wanted to say or things you want to tell your family that you can't anymore. So then you're going to come and find someone like me to tell your family what you needed to say. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. Right? Do you want to end up in a situation where you have to find someone to tell your family what you want to say just because you're not here to say it anymore because you chose not to be? Just have a think on that. Right? And I don't know why, but Astro's telling me that someone needs to hear that right now. So whoever you are, if you need to talk to anybody, I don't care. You can get a hold of me, get a hold of anybody on the panel. I don't know who you are, but I know you're here.
Yeah.
And if you're if you're in this spot right now, get a hold of one of us or get a hold of somebody, anybody. I don't care if it's your cat, and talk to them. Okay? Talk to them.
Yes.
I don't know who you are, but I know you're there. Okay? Get a hold of Pop, Christina, Buttons, Chris, anybody. Mystical, anybody. Okay? Get a hold of somebody and talk to them.
Yeah. If anybody's watching this, guys, after this video gets uploaded, everybody's links to their channels, Christina's, Sherry's, Mystical's, Drew's, Danny's channel will be below this description. Also, Drew's shop and other kind of things where you can buy your oils and stuff. And I'll put the Ghost Squad Scotland Facebook thing too, where you can contact Danny and everybody in here. You can contact them through the messenger service if you want to talk to them. It's very important if you're in that kind of, Danny, as if you're in that kind of state, kind of depression and stuff. That Drew, you know all about this kind of depression and stuff. And if you're depressed and you're thinking of doing anything, please don't. Please contact
Just
one of
reach
these
out,
people
guys.
first.
If anybody has
Honestly.
something, reach out.
Yeah, I suffer from clinical depression every day.
Yeah.
And I also suffer from PSTD. But I'm still here because I got all you guys, and I love you guys. You guys love me. That's why I'm here.
You're here because you're stubborn.
Well, there's that too. There's that too. It's because the damn doctors keep telling me, "Oh, you're going to be gone in a couple of months," and I'm like, "Screw
Yeah.
you." Like,
Danny,
you're
Danny, you're going to
stubborn.
live to your 150.
You're strong-willed.
We'll see. I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
So, honestly, guys and girls,
We all
thank
have
you for
battles.
watching the
We all have battles in
Yes.
real life, and we all know how to deal with it. So,
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, Sherry, exactly. So,
We'll
guys,
never
listen,
do it.
thank you everybody for coming tonight. And honestly, please go and click on Sherry's channel because it's a brilliant channel. She was at a graveyard the other day. They're really, really interesting. Check out Ghost Squad. Yeah, check her channel out. Please subscribe to her. If you're watching this on Facebook, please check them out. Danny's channel and Drew's channel, both amazing channels. My Mystical, if you don't subscribe to her, she'll put you in a jar.
That's not true. That's
In
not
the
true.
empty one right behind her.
That's not true. If you don't roll her bones, she's going to put fish in the jar. That's what's going to happen.
That's
why-
what's going to happen. You know.
That's why he's promoting her, because he doesn't want to end up in a jar. If you don't roll her
Right,
bones,
everybody, subscribe to My Mystical. Subscribe.
Yeah.
I can just see it in the new. I'll be bashing the side of the glass.
subscribe, damn it! If she gets 500 more, I'll be out.
I know. I've been in here for 20 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining. And honestly, to the donations today, thank you very much. And I don't know what
Thank
the
you,
show will be
everybody.
next week, but are any of you guys live tomorrow?
Tomorrow Saturday I'm at 6 and Danny's at 3:30.
I'm gonna be
3:30
doing
to
my
5.
Yes, it's a tomorrow, guys. It's Christina's day tomorrow, so definitely come to Christina and Sungo Squad.
Yeah, and I'll be on at 3:30. So
Exactly.
Yeah, so he's 3:30 to
Subscribe, guys.
5, then I'm 6 to whenever
be on
I feel like stop talking. And then we're gonna catch Sherry Sis on her channel at some time. She'll list it. So you guys will all be busy tomorrow watching us.
I'll work in between.
I'll be driving over the
So,
Not
ladies and
every
mountains
Sunday
tomorrow.
I do it.
Oh, good.
Over the mountains and down the glens.
Yeah, I'll be driving over the
I'll wait to
mountain
get some more
tomorrow. I'll
empty
miss
jars.
everybody's.
that's it.
Catch you everybody later, guys, and we'll see you
Blessings
all on
all.
the other side. Well, no me, I'll be in a jar.
Yeah. You
Poor
will.
Chris.
Let's do.
Thank you for joining us on this exciting adventure with Ghost Squad Scotland. Our team of experienced ghost hunters use the latest technology to explore the paranormal and uncover the truth about the unknown. Don't forget that we're affiliated with Spirit Shack, the UK's premier ghost hunting equipment store, so you can trust our equipment to be top-notch. Plus, we have exclusive Ghost Squad Scotland merch available on our Zazzle store, so you can show your support for the team in style. And if you can't get enough of our ghost hunting adventures, be sure to tune into the Bonkers TV network to catch our show in action. Content creators can even have their own content syndicated on the network, or create their own custom online TV channel by visiting bonkers.net. Thank you for your support. And remember to always keep an open mind as we continue to explore the mysteries of the paranormal with Ghost Squad Scotland.